I picked up on the importance of having style at an early age. Basketball is the most stylish sport there is. What you wear to the court, on the court, and afterwards all say something about who you are as a hooper. I remember when I was younger being able to tell who the opposing team's best players were just based off of their style. And I remember feeling something deep within me, like a spark or a calling of some sort, to define who I was and to communicate who I am through developing my own personal style. Fast forward to today, and the concept of style has pretty much shaped my reality. On a day-to-day basis, I'm working pretty much all day. I have 2 jobs working in the industry. One of them is a production job at a hat factory here in Kansas City called Sandlot. At Sandlot, we're making hats. We're making a bunch of hats. We get full hats sometimes we get pieces of hats. And we're embroidering whatever the client wants on them. So lots of logos. Sometimes we do patches. We'll do applique as well. We make hats out of all different kinds of fabrics, all different colors, custom hats made in the US, it's really cool because there's not very many hat factories in the United States. A lot of wholesale hats that you find are manufactured in places like China or India. And to be involved at the ground level of a hat factory taking place here in Kansas City is really, really cool. At Gavel, we're selling denim. We sell denim and other high-end menswear products from brands from Japan, from New York, from Canada, from LA, brands like Corridor, Lady White, Orslo, 316, and just high-end brands. But if you want to find those products in Kansas City, you have to go to Gavel. The only local brand we carry at Gavel is mine. And so it creates a cooler environment for selling clothes where it's less about hard selling somebody and more about just kind of guiding them through the process. Both of those outlets have really shaped what I'm doing here in Kansas City. They both given me a lot of insight, a lot of knowledge, extra skills and expertise to not only sell my own garments here in Kansas City, but to understand also how the industry works. I started Bonicel about a year ago. For a little while, I had been making pieces and I had been teaching myself the techniques of how to sew and how to craft garments. A lot of brands will design something, ship that design to China or India, have it manufactured, and then receive it 3, 4, 5 months later. That process is cool, but that's not necessarily what I want to do. I like making things. I like the process of turning the machines on, cleaning them out, adding oil to the machines, threading the machines. I like cutting the textiles myself. I like feeling the textiles run through the scissors and run through my rotary cutter. I like getting blue indigo stains on my fingers. I think it's important to know where your garments were made, or at least in what country they were made in, or at least why they were made in the country they were made in. The fashion industry has been gatekept forever, and a lot of these brands don't want you to know where their stuff was made or for how much money it was made for. The more insight you have, the more information you have, the more educated you'll be as a consumer. That'll just make you shop smarter. That'll make you have more confidence in the clothes you're wearing. If you spend $40 on a pair of jeans, you're not gonna care about them that much. But if you spend $300 on a pair of jeans, you're gonna really care about them. And whenever you get a hole in the knee or a crotch blowout, you're gonna fix it because you put the time into buying that piece. You understood where it came from. You understood why it came from that place, and you want to give it that same type of attention that the person who made it did. You want to love it the same way that they did, and I think that's really important. That's something that people in this area, I'm not sure that they're consciously thinking about, and I'm not sure that they really care a whole lot because you don't see those things here. You don't really have any insight to that. You don't really have any knowledge or information for what's going on. I think it's kind of my job to give people as much information about the industry as possible, especially in this area. I've been blessed to work at multiple places, also develop my own products, and so I know how this stuff operates and I understand how it works, and the more light I can shed on that, I think the better overall. My plan for Bonicel is to build my own sewing and manufacturing studio. So what I want to do is take my skill set and my resources and hire a couple of other people and work together to not only restore some manufacturing back to Kansas City, but to make things right here in-house. The industry doesn't always operate that way, especially here in Kansas City. That's not really something that's happening. I want there to be a sewing factory here in Kansas City where people know incredible garments are being made with people who use their own two hands to make those garments. Right. Today we are making a pair of Bonicel Originals. Right now we're working on a flat felled seam for these jeans. The felled seam is going to help these be much more durable. We want to make a strong product, and this felled seam is going to do that for us. And sewing denim is really just all about preparation. Getting things to lay the way you want them to. Making sure everything is prepped correctly, and then just letting the machines do the work. I love sewing with denim. It's clean, it's crisp, it's flexible, it sews perfectly every time. The weight of it is perfect for sewing. Some textiles are just a pain to sew with, but not denim. And the process of folding multiple pieces of fabric on top of each other when you sew them is what kind of creates that durability and longevity that a pair of jeans needs. Again, it helps with a flexible textile like denim, where you can kind of maneuver things how you need them to go. And once I've got it kind of where I like it, I'm gonna use my iron to help set this into place before I sew it down. Another thing that will definitely help from time to time is either using pins or clips to help hold the fabric into place. You know, the iron does a good job, but sometimes you want to hold that in. This piece of fabric is going to have 12 separate layers of denim folded underneath it, and it can be really bulky and really tough for your machine to get all the way through. So one way to counter that, hammer your knuckle. That little bit of hammering that piece of fabric out is the difference sometimes between a clean center seam and one that looks a little worse. And then from here on, I'm just gonna keep folding and feeling where I'm going. I also like a bigger back pocket, something more useful, something that you can fit more than just your phone in. To prep these back pockets, you need to get a really hot iron with some steam, and you're just gonna press right around each side. And once you flip the pocket back over, you'll be able to tell if you need to make any changes or if it's good to go. Then we'll go back to the machine, top stitch these guys down, and the backs of our pants will be finished. I like borrowing bits and pieces of history from older pairs of jeans. I've added this utility pocket onto the Bonicel originals that I borrowed from my favorite pair of Lee Carpenter pants in my collection. Little details like that, I think, pay homage to the successful denim brands that came before us. Lee Jeans was actually founded in the state of Kansas and was manufactured here in Kansas City for a little while. And I love the idea of almost giving them an indiscreet shout out with this pocket design. Traditionally, the coin pocket of a pair of jeans is used just for that, storing coins, and they're usually small and don't get a ton of use out of them. We've gone with a coin pocket that's significantly larger for the Bonicel originals, and it just makes it more functional. Pockets with depth are important. There's nothing worse than sticking your hand into the front pocket of a pair of jeans and it being shallow to the point where you can barely fit anything into it. I love the front pocket design we've gone with for the Bonicel originals. I think it adds character. I think it adds depth to the design. And again, it adds functionality to the pockets. The inseam is the connection point between where we attach the front and the back legs of the pants. It's really important that with the inseam, we keep the same theme of things being strong and durable all the way throughout the pants. Usually after years of wear and tear, the inseam is gonna be where most of your crotch blowouts happen, or small little holes in the fabric like to take place. And so it is important that when we're sewing our inseam, we make sure that we're strong, durable, the stitch length is correct, and that we're just going slow, not skipping any steps or any stitches. Feeling pretty good about that. Come back over to the machine here. I like to start right at the point where they connect. And then from there, you can just follow these pant legs all the way down the inseam. The inseam is how you communicate how long you want your pants to be. Bonicel was named after my great-grandma, Mildred Bonicel. She was a seamstress, a quilter, and just an overall joy to planet Earth. She used to make these amazing quilts, and she would brand them, and I just love that. I love that she was doing that 100 years ago. I love that I have that same type of passion and intensity to do that with my own creations. And I think once you know that, and once you can kind of see like, okay, this name does mean something. This logo does actually mean something. And I'm kind of carrying forth her legacy a little bit. It adds to the overall brand. It's cool. Yeah, I think it's cool.